35,000 a month just for one bedroom apartment in Bangalore. Now that's 4.2 lakhs a year, and that too just for rent. For a bootstrapped startup, that's around 6 to 9 months of runway gone just to have a roof over your head. Now I'm going to show you how moving to a tier 2 city can save you from 2.5 to 4 lakhs per year and extend your startup runway by an entire year, and why Bangalore's ecosystem advantage might be a myth for you. And yes, I have the data. Let's quickly start. Now, let's start with the elephant in the room, right? Now, Bangalore rent is insane right now. A basic one bedroom apartment in Kormangla or say Indranagar or maybe HSR layout, it's 25,000 to 35,000. And that's not even a luxury apartment. I'm talking just the normal apartment. Now you want to live closer to your office or co-working space. You can add another 5 to 10,000. Now, if you are working at Flipkart or maybe any MNC and making around 25 to 30 lakhs a year, that's fine. You can afford it, right? But if you are bootstrapping a startup making just zero revenue for say first 6 to 12 months, right? Let me show you what this can actually cost you. Now, here's the breakdown for a single founder living in Bangalore. Let's calculate the rent for single apartment. It's 30,000 per month. Now calculate food and grocery, add around 12,000. Then again transportation 5,000, and just basic utilities like electricity, water, internet adds another 4,000, and your phone another 1,500. And let's add another other essential expenses, say around 8,000. Now just calculate them. That's around your monthly burn rate, that is 60,500. Yes. Now just multiply it by 18, which is the realistic timeline to probability for most startups, and what you get, it's around 10.8 lakhs, right? Now almost 11 lakhs on an average, and just to survive for 18 months in Bangalore while you are just building your startup. And here's the kicker one. Now 80,000 of your 60,000 per month, it's just the burn rate that goes into just your rent. Now imagine that's 50% of your expenses. Now what if I told you that there's a place where the same apartment cost can be around 8,000? Okay, let me show you the actual numbers. Real apartments, and we are talking about real cost, correct? Now I compared the same standard of living in Bangalore versus in tier 2 cities like Indore, Jaipur and Bhubaneswar. Now in Bangalore, monthly burn rate we calculated just now, it's 60,000 over 18 months, total around 11 lakhs. Now let's calculate in Indore. Monthly burn rate is just 25,000, and over 18 months it's around 4.5 lakhs. And when we talk in Bhubaneswar, it's the monthly burn rate will be around your 29,000, and over 18 months just calculate it around 5.2. Let's take on an average 5.5 lakhs, right? Now when we calculate the same in Bhubaneswar, your monthly burn rate is just 26,500, and over 18 months it's around hardly 4.8 lakhs. Just look at the difference. Now by moving to Indore, you can save your 6.3 lakhs over 18 months, and that's not a little bit of money. That's your 6 months of runway, hiring your first employee, his salary, your entire marketing budget for your startup, and the difference between your success and just shutting down. And you are getting the same standard of living, same quality apartment, same food. In fact, I can say better food, same internet speed, right? Now, the only difference is the city name on your address. Now, but I know what you're thinking. Yeah, but Bangalore has the ecosystem, the investors, the talent, the network that I have heard over the years. Now, the Bangalore ecosystem advantage is real, I know. If you are raising VC money and hiring senior engineers from a high-tech company, but what if you are bootstrapping, building your MVP, just getting your first 100 customers? Then do you think you need to be in the Bangalore? Now here's why. First, networking with investors. Most investors take Zoom calls anyway. And when you do need to meet them, you can just fly to Bangalore just in 2 to 3 times for important timings, right? Now, this is still way cheaper than living around there. Now, second is access to talent. Remote hiring is completely normalized after COVID. All have seen engineers in tier 2 cities are the same quality, often with lower salary expectation. Plus, you have Upwork, freelancing. There are so many freelancing websites, right? And the third number is the startup vibe and culture. Let's be honest, you are building alone in your apartment anyway. Now, whether that apartment is in Kormangla or Indore or any tier 2 cities, doesn't does it change your productivity? And we are talking about co-working spaces that still exist in tier 2 cities, right? And the fourth one, being near the customers. Now 90% of Indian startups are digital and online. Now your customers are nationwide, not just in Bangalore, right? The ecosystem advantage matters when you are series A and beyond, say hiring 50 people, building fancy offices. But when we are talking, you are in year 1 or maybe year 2, you are just in your apartment on your laptop talking to hundreds of customers on Zoom. And you know what helps you to survive Series A? Your runway, your cash, your time. That's 6 lakhs extra in the bank gives you that, right? Now, okay. So we have talked about what you say by moving to a say tier 2 city. Now, but here's what you gain, and nobody talks about this. Advantage number one is focus. Bangalore is distracting. Let's be real about it. Startup events every week, networking drinks, your friend's product launch, FOMO everywhere, right? But in Indore, if you start your startup, you're just building, that's it. There is no distraction. Advantage number two, better talent retention. Now, engineers in Bangalore job hop every 18 months for just a 2 lakh increment, and it's their culture. But in tier 2 cities, they are grateful for your remote startup opportunity. They stay longer, less turnover, and advantage number three is your most important mental health. Now, Bangalore traffic alone will destroy your mental health 2 hours a day just in your Ola or Uber, just stuck in the traffic. But in tier 2 cities, 15 minutes commute, less stress, better sleep, and you are building for 18 months minimum. And that matters. Advantage number four, your family support. Now, if you're living in Indore or let's say Jaipur or any tier 2 cities in your hometown, you can live with your parents. Suddenly, your burn rate is not 25,000, it's just dropped to 10,000. You just extended your runway by 2 times. That's another maybe 6 months to 1 year. Okay, so should you move to a tier 2 city? So here's my framework. Stay in Bangalore if you are raising a funding of say 50 lakhs or more, or maybe you need to hire a senior talent with more than 10 years of experience. You are in hardware or say deep tech, or maybe genuinely need that ecosystem. Your customers are primarily based in Bangalore, or maybe you can comfortably afford a 60,000 per month burn rate. Right now, move to tier 2 city if you are bootstrapping, you are in a pre-revenue or in just early revenue. You are building software or digital product. Your customers are maybe online or nationwide. You want to double your runway with the same savings. You value focus over networking. You have family in a tier 2 city, so you can move in tier 2 city. Now let's be honest with yourself. If you are in Bangalore because that's where all the startups are supposed to be, that's not the strategy. That's just your ego. If you are there because you genuinely need this ecosystem, great, stay. But if you are just burning cash or maybe rent while building an app that could be built anywhere in the country, you are making an expensive mistake. Now here's the truth. Bangalore did not make Flipkart successful, the founders did. Indore did not make startup fail, but poor execution did. The city matters less than you even think, and the runway matters more than you can think. And now 6 lakh extra in your bank account, that could be the difference between your startup surviving or maybe dying. Now, if this podcast has helped you think differently about where you are building, please hit that subscribe button. I make videos like this every week, real talk about Indian startup without the BS. And please drop a comment below whether you are building your startup from Bangalore or any tier 2 city. Let's talk and see you in the next episode. Thank you.